generally pretty good. The weak link being the settings, which are very general and generic and need fine-tune, which is easily done. But the external adjusters that are present, or for that matter not be present on an OEM shock, and their range of adjustability is pretty limited. That's your big advantage of an aftermarket shock, is a much greater range of external adjustability. Well, certainly any shock absorber, most OEM shocks can be upgraded, and obviously all your high-performance aftermarket shocks can be customized to a particular rider's settings. And that's just the point, that they have to be customized to a particular rider's settings, and that's the advantage of the G3. We build these shocks specifically for an individual rider, his or her use, bike, weight, specs, usage, and so forth, so it is custom upon delivery. What we have on this particular shock, and it varies a little bit more application to application, but what this particular shock has, we have both a low speed and a high speed adjuster, compression adjuster, so we can independently control both circuits of compression. We have a rebound adjuster. We also have a ride height adjuster, which increases the length of the shock, typically as much as 6 millimeters. So you can fine tune the chassis geometry on the motorcycle and then improve the ground clearance. What we found is the adjusters on these G3 shocks, based on dyno testing, have a much greater percentage or range of adjustability than anything else that's presently on the market. You know, a lot of shocks, the adjustability range is so small that it's almost unusable, or in some cases, all the way from minimum to maximum, and virtually no difference is felt through the seat of the pants or visible on the dyno. So they may not be very effective, even at the present. On any motorcycle, you know, the majority of the weight added to the bike, passengers, luggage, whatever, is bearing to the rear. Okay, whether it's saddlebags or whether it's a rider on the back, it's sitting over the rear axle. So the majority of that additional force is going to the shock. So even the most basic, you know, commuter bike stock shocks have a preload adjuster, and the more exotic, you know, the more heavy duty the bike is, the more need you have for it. So yeah, sure, the ability to reach back and go from solo to passenger, or from track day to street with just the twist of a knob, is a dramatic improvement. And I don't have a picture here, but we just completed a remote hydraulic adjuster for this. It's got a nice little knob and handle, so you can literally reach back from the seat and crank the thing up and down as needed for your application. So it saves tools, time, and aggravation. You know, shock shafts vary anywhere from 12 to 16 millimeters, you know, depending on the application, and we run to the large side on all of them. The larger shaft gives the shock more durability, and particularly in, you know, in off-road applications and such, be that motocross or a trophy car, UTV, that type of thing. Bigger shaft's much more durable. You don't have the risk of bendage that you do in you see in many other applications. This particular shock here came off of David Anthony's GSXR 1000 AMA bike, and he was the top placing privateer this year. Matter of fact, we built a similar shock and won the Canadian Superbike Championship with it in 2009. So absolutely, the difference between a street level shock and a track level shock is basically the settings that are put in it, you know, for the rider's ability and aggression level and so forth. You know, the basic componentry would be the same. Every component from this shock is USA made, sourced, manufactured, built. One of the ways we built them, like I say, is the custom setup. You know, the weak link in, you know, the other aftermarket shocks is that they are an off-the-shelf piece. It's high-quality components, to be sure, but it's a generic piece that you're expected to spend extra money having customized valves and so forth for your particular use and application. We do that at a gate. We don't build a shock until we receive an order. So it's built to your spec for your use in whatever color combination you might want with USA-made products. And the track testing has proved that we have been as much as 2 seconds a lap faster than some of the other competition on comparable bikes with a complete front and rear race deck setup. It's not just a sport bike piece. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people with touring and cruiser bikes benefit from upgraded suspension even more than the sport bike folks do because of the starting point. You know, the stock suspension on, say, a touring bike is at a much lower level in quality and settings than it is on a sport bike. We have these shocks available for everything from Harley-Davidsons to BMWs, vintage motocross and sport bikes, ATVs, UTVs, trophy carts. We actually have a rally car sitting in the shop right now, a little Subaru rally car of some sort to get ready to do something with. So absolutely, any application is possible. One of the more unique features that we offer, services that we offer with these, is custom colors. Okay, we can have these set up with any color you like. So if you want the reservoir particular color, the spring can be powder coated, anything you want. We've done these in yellow and black for Suzuki applications, green and black Kawasaki application, you name it, we can put a color combination together for you. And like I say, they're fully customized for an individual rider at both an aesthetic level as well as a settings level. We know that shocks need to be serviced on a regular basis. It's one of the most overlooked service items on motorcycles, changing the fluid and recharging the nitrogen of shocks as well as forks. So they're easily disassembled and updated, upgraded, or rebuilt as needed. They will last a long time. We've gone to a lot of difficulty with low friction coatings and high quality components to ensure that they'll last a very long time. But still, service is going to be required from time to time. If you want to change an internal setting, easily done. So yes, absolutely, and they're modular too. We can add features to them and such to customize it for a rider's particular needs. The analogy I like to give people is hamburger is delicious if you've never tasted filet mignon. Okay, so go from a real nice quality hamburger on your stock shock to a filet mignon, bacon wrapped, ready to go.